Hello. This tutorial will cover the various common visual elements on the site and how to replicate them using Beaver Builder and CSS classes. Looking around the site, you may be wondering how to achieve certain elements on the page, such as these white content boxes and these headers with this type of styling and the pop right next to it. This can be easily replicated using CSS classes within the Beaver Builder tool. Let's go to one of these pages and I'll show you how these elements are built first. For this tutorial, we'll be looking at the donate page. Once logged into WordPress, there will be a Beaver Builder link at the top that you can click to turn this into Beaver Builder mode. You can also use the post view in the dashboard to come back to this sort of view. This may be familiar if you used our previous tutorials. You can inspect each element on the page by hovering over them and clicking this wrench icon to view its settings. In our case, let's look at the heading called Make a Donation. As you may already know, in this window you'll have control over how this looks on the page. But let's take a look at the Advanced tab. Here at the bottom under HTML element, in the class field, you'll see an entry that says header box. This is something called a CSS class. Keywords that tell the site to style things in a certain way that we've already built on the back end. In this widget's case, the header box CSS class automatically tells the site to give it this particular styling with a gray box and the pop print to embellish it. So if you would like to recreate the specific visual styling in widgets you create, use this exact CSS class. Now let's take a look at another common element, the white boxes. Hovering over one of these elements to check its CSS class by clicking Row Settings and heading over to the Advanced tab. Here at the bottom again, we'll see a CSS class for content box. Like how the CSS class header title automatically added the gray box and pop print to the header example that we discussed, the CSS class content box automatically adds a white background and padding to the edges of a widget. The same can be said in this third example. Let's look at a button on the site. Here in the Advanced tab in this widget under the CSS class field, you see something that says GPI button. This automatically tells the site to style the button exactly like this. Bold, this particular padding, and even the font styling. Now, let's take what I discussed and recreate the styling of these elements in this sample page I've spun up. I'll be accessing Beaver Builder mode from this post view this time by clicking the blue button. First off, let's tackle a header. Dragging over a Beaver Builder heading module, giving it a title, and adding the appropriate class header box. Already you'll see it react, adding the pop print automatically as well as adding the gray box. The only step here is to change the alignment to left. Here we go. Next, let's create a white box with some copy inside. Dragging over a text editor on a separate row, somewhat important, adding my sample copy. Now for this particular CSS class, instead of targeting the text widget itself, you want to target the row, which is slightly above it. So same concept here, going to Advanced tab, clicking the CSS class field and adding the white box class, which is content box. And you'll see that it already reacts, adding the padding and the appropriate white background. And then lastly, we'll be adding a button. So under the Beaver Builder modules list, we'll be dragging the button widget within the white box. The button should already be gold, however, the font styling and the padding is not quite right, so we'll still be going under the Advanced tab and putting in the CSS class GPI button. And as you can see, it reacts yet again, giving it the appropriate font and padding for this widget. There we go.